Yo, what up? What up? Um, Not gonna really uh show too much of this video because they'll probably most likely copyright strike it. I'm gonna just play some of the video, but so it's just hilarious how the media and you know just these sports pundits talk about this whole Jordan debate and how Jordan was playing against an old Magic Johnson, which is not true, and an old Lakers team, which is not true. They were fairly young. Um, that '91 season, they dominated the West in the playoffs. They played very good. The Lakers were really talented. They were a pretty good team. Um, they can get up and down the court or whatever at that time frame. Um, like I said, Magic Johnson was 32 years old. Now, now could the debate be this? Hey, Magic had a lot of tread on his tires as far as all the championships that he had won at the time before he retired. That's one story. But to say that he was physically old, old to me in basketball years is like um, 35 plus. You know what I mean? 35, 36, 37. Now you're getting up there. But 32, between the age of 30, 28 and 32, you're pretty much at your prime. 32, you're kind of coming down your prime a little bit. You know what I mean? But you're not old. You're not old in basketball years, in my opinion. Um, I mean, if that's the case, well, shit. When LeBron turned 32, he was old. If that's the argument that we're gonna have, right? And we could say, all right, he was 32, so those are the reasons why he lost or whatever the case may be. But hold on, real quick. Um, Hold on. Let me see. All right. I want to see these shit live if anybody comes in. But anyway, I'm gonna just play a little bit of this audio and I'm gonna just give y'all the real. I've been watching basketball for a long time, and a lot of the stuff that they're saying is crazy. So this is Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe with the Jordan debate thing, and I think if you know who I am, y'all already know what I think. I think Jordan is probably the most, probably one of the best overall complete players of all time, and I think he's probably the best. He's the best player that I've seen play. Um, but I'm gonna just go ahead and play this, and I'm gonna just give a breakdown. So here we go. Magic for his first time. Magic was 73. Okay. All right, so they're comparing. So like right now they're comparing this, and all right, so Stephen A. Smith is so Shannon Sharpe is asking Stephen A. Smith like what players have Jordan ever played against that was on the caliber uh, of Kevin Durant. So Stephen A. Smith just said, he's about to go down the list and name the players. So he's saying Magic Johnson. So Jordan won his first championship in '91. I watched that series. Um, like I said, the Lakers weren't old. Magic wasn't old. Magic was 32. You know, Magic year in and year out was always, the Lakers team. Even after Kareem retired, was like gonna make a deep playoff push because they were good. They were a good team. Uh, Let me see. What's the other dude's name that played for the Lakers or whatever? James Worthy wasn't old. James Worthy was probably like 2 or 3 years older than Jordan. So if Jordan was 28 when he won a championship, if I'm not mistaken, Worthy probably was like 30, 31, if that. Um, Vladi Divac was, he was like a rookie, I think, or a second year player or something like that. They have Byron Scott, I think, still. He was a really good player. They had a good team. I think they had Eldon Campbell on that team, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just trying to just like recall. And then Mike Dunleavy was the coach. They had a good team. They weren't old. They weren't washed up. They weren't like struggled to get to the playoffs or none of that. No, they were a really good team. It like in the West at that time, it was like a toss up between like the Portland Trailblazers, the Lakers, Utah. Golden State played, I believe. I'm sure, yeah, because they had Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond and Chris Mullin. So yo, all the stuff that they're saying, yo, is like with Shannon Sharpe or whatever, man. It's all BS, man. It's like I said, Magic wasn't old. So I'm just gonna play a little bit of audio because I don't want them to flag this joint.
Well, I wouldn't say the equivalent of Kevin Durant, but let's go down the list. He beat Magic for his first title.
Magic was 73.
Okay.
I'm going
Like I said, that's a lie because Magic, Magic wasn't dirt old or nothing like that. Magic was, like I said, Magic was 32, right? Continue.
Okay. I didn't hear you say that when Magic was here, but we'll talk about that.
Magic,
we'll talk about that
you know Magic.
You didn't say that when Magic was here. You didn't tell him that.
The man that's on the nine finals in 10 years.
I feel you on that. And by the way, he took Vlade Divac and those guys.
Yes.
Wasn't Kareem and Worthy and them. I got
But you saw what he did to Jordan in the first game, right?
Allow me.
Put a triple-double on the head and put Scott.
All right, now they're talking about defensively. Now, this is why history and archives are so important because, yeah, Magic did have a triple double, right? But the thing is, he's trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, Jordan was getting his ass busted or whatever the case may be. So, that Phil had to, so Phil Jackson had to switch, Jordan on Magic. I'm telling you, you have to go on YouTube and look at the entire series, right? Look at the entire series and see how Magic, if anything, Magic was busting Pippen's ass. Then, of course, they switched and swapped Jordan between, the defensive assignment between Jordan and Pippen or whatever. And most of the time, Jordan was covering Magic full court most of the times and most of those possessions. If you watch the videos, if you watch the games, if you actually analyze the entire series and not look at just highlights and the stuff that NBA TV shows and these analysts go and talk about, because a lot of the times they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Like my man right here, look at his face. He don't know what he talking about, yo. But I'm telling you, you can go on YouTube, you can look at that series, look at the defensive assignment. Jordan was doing his thing, yo. Jordan was locking Magic down. You know what I mean? And of course, Pippen was helping out too. But if anything, like Magic, my bad, Jordan was putting the clamps on Magic. So all of that stuff it's a farce. It's a narrative. It's inaccurate. And ultimately the better team won. They're trying to make it. In the grand scheme of things, like a lot of these people, they're trying to make it seem like Jordan had a cakewalk to the finals that year or whatever, which was not true. They forget to mention that the Pistons had won back-to-back championships, right? They won back-to-back championships. And they had, of course, they had Jordan's number and all that. That 91 season, that 91 season or whatever, guess who got swept? The Pistons got swept. The Bulls swept the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? So that alone says a lot in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then, they was able to go ahead and go to the NBA Finals. Now, just say if the Bulls would have lost, right, then we would have had another series between the Pistons and the Lakers, right? And the Lakers, the one year the Lakers would have not my bad. The Pistons, they would have went to 3 straight championships, but they didn't or whatever because they lost to the Bulls. But let me listen to a little bit more of this and then just kind of go from there. But like I said, Magic wasn't washed up. Magic was playing well. Magic was doing what Magic does that season.
Pippin on it.
That's cool.
Okay, I ain't gonna say he backed him down.
Back
Made it look like Kareem and Caldwell Jones. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so here we go.
Magic Johnson the first title. Clyde Drexler and the Crew the second title. Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson. Don't ignore that. Dan Marley and them the third title. Okay. Peyton, the glove with Sean Kemp.
All right, like I said, I'm not going to play too much of this because I'm sure they're going to do some copyright strike thing or whatever. But all the players that Stephen A. Smith right now is like talking about is facts. I mean, a lot of people, they try to discredit, the talent that Jordan played against or whatever. And truth be told, a lot of the way how the league was back then was a lot more defensively oriented. You had hand checking, of course, like that. The three ball wasn't prevalent like how it is now, of course. And this is a guard league now. You know what I mean? Like a face-up game. Back in the day, you needed to have a post-up game. Even if as a guard, you needed to have some type of post game. And offenses were ran through the post more than now. It's like all perimeter based and 3-point based and all that. But yeah, man, it's just like this. I think this is a big thing that's really important or whatever is about this whole Magic was old. This whole narrative. The Pistons were old. And no, they weren't, yo. Isaiah Thomas was like 32. You know what I mean? And that 91 season as well, if I'm not mistaken. He came out around the same time as Magic or whatever. Like, so them guys, like, they weren't old. That's not true at all, yo. It was the Bulls' time. It was the Bulls' time. It was their time. It was Jordan's time. They just were better coached. They stepped it up tremendously on the defensive end. They got a lot tougher. And they just played well. You know what I mean? And they couldn't be beaten at one, that first part of the 90s. You know what I mean? And they just had to learn from their losses. But that's all. Like what my last video I was talking about. I'm gonna do the part 2 or whatever today. About separating yourself from the competition, and that's just like one of the things that I admired about Jordan so much was his will to win, and the adversity that he had to accomplish and overcome to become a winner. You know what I mean? And I remember back in the day, like they used to have articles in the newspapers and TV and shit. Like they would talk about how much Jordan was a ball hog and how no scoring champion has ever won an NBA championship, and he needs to be more of a facilitator and all this and all that or whatever. And I mean, Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan averaged about 5 assists a game. He was averaging 30-some points a game, scoring like crazy or whatever. But that wasn't his job. Was to score. Like, I mean, and score and play defense. Like, it wasn't really his job to be like the setup man. And then the Bulls offense or the triangle offense wouldn't allow Jordan to be, had a ball in his hand so much as far as facilitating, setting up the play, scoring, and getting assists. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't really his calling. Like, the assist guys, especially the first 3 championships, was like, Paxson and Pippen. You know what I mean? Like, they were the guys that was, like, really kind of running the offense. And then, Jordan is, like, scoring off of, like, one-on-one play and then, scoring off of the catch and shoot stuff and, playing the post game, especially 92, 93. Like, his post game just went, it was just crazy. He just took it to a whole nother level. He was playing a lot more face-up game, early in his career and all that. But then he started developing the fadeaway and then lights out, right? But, yeah, I just wanted to make this video real quick. I just need my man Shannon to stop going off this narrative talking about the Lakers were old and in particular Magic was old. That's false. You know what I mean? If Magic never would have contracted HIV, Magic probably would have played to like probably that 95, 96 season straight through. So Magic would have played, I think, what is it, 78, 78, 80, something like 78, 79, all the way up to 96. Um, and then who would have known what happened after that? He would have probably got a front office position. I'm sure, like, he would have, just let's just like take the HIV aspect away from it, right? Like, I'm sure he would have been trying to like get Shaq to come and like try to really get the young guys to like groom them and get them better. So Eldon Campbell, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones. Let's just like say this timeline is streamlined straight without the HIV, right? But that's my thoughts, man. Like I said, the narrative is crazy. Like I said, Magic wasn't old. That Lakers team wasn't old. Kareem, like, and my point is proven more because Kareem was old and was kind of slowing down the showtime. You know what I mean? He retired, so they went young. They had Vlade and Eldon Campbell and a couple other young pieces and stuff like that, and they were still a good team. So, but all right, peace off.